You're listening to the Go Lightly Martial Hour on freedomtalkradio.net. freedomtalkradio.net.
Good evening, Rodney. Who says good evening from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina? How are you, Rodney? Just send us a message, mate. And we're a little bit late. It's 12:03. And what does 12:03 mean? It means Lord and Master in Greek. Husband. Now, I hope some of the others come on over and join you, Rodney. I read, Rodney, your photograph, the story of your photograph that you took last year of the first blood moon. I'm going to read that. That's really interesting because it's all about the blood moon series. We're coming down to the final one. Let me get the day and date out of the way for my own sake. I do this for me so I know where I'm at. All right. Hi, Ross. He says, howdy, guys. Honey, you better get your hello in now before... Hello. So it is Thursday today, and it is the 7th of May, 2015, and it's 12:05:34 p.m. in Australia. Tugam, Queensland, Australia. This is the home of the Christ, Brian Leonard Golightly Marshall, who was announced as the Christ by Pope Benedict XVI on March the 12th, 312, the number of his name, in 2013. And all prophecy is playing out. The Antichrist revealed in Francis, who rejected the news, and so he becomes an antipope as well because he rejected Benedict in that rejection.
I am totally stunned by those wankers in the Vatican.
In the Vatican.
You've got all these experts. They must know that the Antichrist has got to come.
From them. From amongst them.
Got to be amongst
them.
They've got to know that Pope John Paul is saying everything against Jesus.
Well, yes, of course they do.
Right?
Of course they do.
You can eat baby's head, you're still going to be
This is hell.
right?
This is hell.
Of course it is.
So anything goes in hell.
They totally stun me. I really do. How stupid they are. As if they're going to win.
Right. Well, no,
and
because...
then if they've already fulfilled their own prophecies of seeing it coming out of the Catholic Bible.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, they lose. Right? So if it's right all the way through...
Yes.
You go back to Isaiah right the way through, 100% correct, right?
Yeah.
They've been sucked in all the way, so the biggest comes down and says, right, you're out of here.
Yes, that was a little bit...
he's 71 years old. That's nothing. Right? How old's the universe? From their perspective.
From their perspective, yes.
What's 7, 8, 10, 30,000 years to me? Nothing.
Yeah.
I just stand there and I feel like it.
The Ancient of Days
Roll
does
the video
sit...
forward, ladies and gentlemen. I'll go to the end. What's the end? Ouch! Destruction.
And casting out of the kingdom.
So we're just rolling back a few frames to where we're talking to you now.
Right. Hello. Now, so let me do that. I'll go. Have you got anything in particular to talk about today?
Oh, lots of stuff, yeah.
Oh, good, because I'm... Wait, let me find this from Rodney that... it's about the blood moon from the 4th of... No, what was it? It was the 4th month, April 15th in 2014. Here it is. This is quite a story of Rodney's. he's got this brilliant shot of the blood moon.
Oh, yes.
Taken at 2:22 a.m. Hello? Now, this is the
That's
story.
a 310.
He called it No Room.
You know, in the future, we'll be saying things like 310, 444, 2424. And you won't have to use any words, because you all know what it is.
Well, that's right. A 310 is the hello. Oh, for all of the UK listeners, I now know what it is. Heidi hi.
Oh,
Now,
right.
you respond with a Heidi ho.
Well, I did. I said Heidi ho, didn't I?
Anyway,
There's a song about that. Cab Calloway's Heidi ho. Look it up on YouTube, Cab Calloway.
Oh, that must be from the show, because it's a comedy from the 80s.
He goes back.
Or perhaps where they got it from.
1930 era.
Okay, that perhaps that's
He's
when
a coloured man.
All right.
But that was his big song, Heidi Hello, or something like that. Heidi Ho, Calloway, anyhow.
Our UK constituents thought that I looked like Sue Bollard with the yellow framed glasses on. Only she can sing. She has quite a lovely singing voice. So listen. We all know that to be total exaggeration. No Room in the Inn. This is Rodney's story. The story of how I came to take this picture of the blood moon marking the exact minute of Christ's regeneration is a miracle in itself. You see, the birth hour of the Christ, the day and the hour, January the 11th, 1944 is the day, but the hour was 2:22 a.m. into Sydney, Australia. The land, Australia, is Bethlehem for the Southern Crossing. And I was working with my son in Grand Forks, and after working he's got asses off all week. There should be an R in there, I think. Anyway, working our asses off all week, were unable to get a room to stay anywhere in town that weekend. It was not nice, as winter was still in full force, and the forecast for 35 to 40 below zero without the wind. What was I to do?
Leave the heater on in the car.
Called my cousin, in brackets, love him, and asked to drive about 50 miles to his place. All he had to offer me was his ice fishing house sitting in the backyard. Ice fishing house sitting in the backyard.
There's a 310 coming at you.
And I gladly accepted.
You're kidding.
That is a 310. Hello!
Put a fire in there.
My son and I would be warm anyway. By the time I got there, was tired, worn out, and really just wanted to sleep. It was not to be, as the ice house party began with both him and my son not wanting to give up. Then an amazing thing happened around midnight, as the skies became crystal clear and the temperature dropped to 40 below zero. The moon was perfectly clear in the sky. So I threw on the clothes and we proceeded to wait for the eclipse. I will tell you that as it became complete, the four of us stood outside in the freezing cold, just mesmerized by the beauty of it all. All the while I am trying to take pictures with my camera without freezing my fingers off.
Won't freeze your bloody camera.
Right. When we see it go total, I looked at the timestamp, 2:22 a.m. I told everyone there that a great moment in history had just been witnessed.
Yeah.
Much love. And this is from Rodney, who's so faithful with his camera to take videos and photographs of some of the most beautiful sunrises, sunsets, and moon captures. Moon captured. So thank you, Rodney, for that. That was that's the show today. See you later, alligator. I haven't got anything else. All right, babe. So what have you got?
Well, continuing with the stupidity of mankind.
Oh, that's easy.
As you know, all universities and houses of learning and so forth,
yes,
are all controlled by the same people. Now, I'll just go through from memory what you are required to be a PhD. Now let me think now. Okay, well, if you're going to be a scientist, for example, you have to be qualified. But the types of scientists that you are determines on what course you've done for 4 years in the university. Now, the university is controlled by the same wankers that are telling you that God doesn't exist.
yes.
Right? Same people.
Atheism, all part of the protocols of Zion.
Well, it's all, well, how universities work, they work on grants, and a grant is determined by the...
and we all know Grant is really
we know
suspect. I just come up with a new name for a PhD. Pretty horrifically dumb.
That's not true. Now, okay. First off, you've got to get your degree in science, whatever it might be. Or whatever.
Yeah.
But that makes you an
Biologist,
expert on that particular thing.
or a chemist.
Well, whatever it is. It's 1,000 different things,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Like there was one they came out with some years ago of a scientist, a guy who was supportive of intelligent design. And he said, if you wanted to get a backing for the collection of nuts by squirrels on how it affects the warming of the planet,
Oh, right, yes.
he said you'll get a grant for it.
Yeah. Wasn't there a grant for watching the flow rate of ketchup in different temperatures or something?
Something like
Yeah,
that.
there was some. This is how. Yeah. Okay, go on.
Okay. All right. So first off, you get a scientific degree in something, and then you have to become a PhD. Now, what a PhD is a 6-year course, and that you have to be able to demonstrate something that no one hasn't thought of yet.
Right.
Right, so you've got to invent something that in your particular field that makes you a scientist of that. Well, squirrels. Squirrels collecting nuts. Whatever. Okay. Then you are in a position to debate whether intelligent design is creation or not. Now, an intelligent design scientist, they're usually coming from the background of being, say, people that work in DNA or the
Biology.
that kind of thing. Right. So, what the people who are into intelligent design do, from a science point of view, right, it's got nothing to do with creation. They say, they look at something that has a irreducible complexity that cannot be something that's evolved. That's all they're going on. That point A, point B goes together, and there's no Darwinian force that can make that occur, especially like a flagellum bacterium motor that has 40 different parts and has a observational capacity to be able to rotate 100,000 times per second, stop in a quarter of a rotation and go backwards. Some of these little bacteria have 3 of those, right? And all the bacteria does is sniff out other bacteria to mate or to look for something to eat. Right? But they have these little tiny, and sometimes 3 of these flagellums that are a little tail-like corkscrew shape that works best in the viscosity of the liquid that they might be floating around. It could be in your eye. Right? So wherever the viscosity, the smaller the item is, the more efficient something to propel is a corkscrew. Right? Like if you're going into the ground, for example, you wouldn't put a propeller off a motorboat.
No.
Right, they go into the ground. You put a corkscrew, that works best.
Yes.
So the liquid that they travel through has a viscosity that is more efficiently pushed through by having a corkscrew on it. And spinning at 100,000 k's, it's going pretty fast. All right, so what they then do is, in order to become to remain a scientist, you need a 4-year degree with a major in your chosen scientific field. Right? So then there's this 4 to 6 year, on average, PhD degree where you specialise in a particular subfield of your science. Now, I told the other day about a nose specialist in town here. He's so specialised, this is a nose specialist, he only does one nostril. Yeah, that's it.
Was it the right or the left?
Well, it's his wife on the right. But they did get both nostrils to a different appointment. So in the English-speaking world, Darwin sort of dominated, but they never ever, any of these Darwin supporters, did they talk about Mendelssohn that come out in 1866. And Mendelssohn was an Austrian, I think, monk that studied the peas that were green and yellow, and he spliced and matched and mixed and so forth to see what would happen. And he came up with the idea of how genetics works, and which is accurate to this day. It is true. So the Darwinians are already no way they're touching that Jose. If they had it would have destroyed Darwin right at the very start. Now, what all of these intelligent design people go back when they debate. You see them debate sometimes. These Darwinists, and there could be 4 or 5 in a panel, and then on the other side the 4 and 5 intelligent design people. They talk back and forth, and what they all say is, all right, if we go back to the first globule of any kind of mycoplasm that may have fooled Darwin into thinking that this was the cell and there's nothing in it because it's just a great piece of pus. What actually, when they look at it with this new technology that they've got, especially with the right type of microscopes that they had in the early days, and then later on what they can do with the modern microscopes, they can go in and look at the actual parts of a flagellum bacterium motor, and it has to be assembled in a certain way. So that's very, very fantastic. However, the Darwinists cannot ever answer the question that where did life begin? They talk about, you got this, you got that, you got the little tiny bacteria, and you go back and there's a little lightning strike, whatever, and you got the proteins and you got the various parts that make up the protein. Where did the first bit come from? What's kicked it all off? How come when you take some sort of protein and you analyse it, it's made up of all these different parts, they themselves are made up from little different parts. So where does it all come from? What causes one bit to join together? What causes the DNA to unspiral and then be unzipped 400 units long, and then all these bits are assembled, right? This is going to make up a protein, right? So the amino acids are being assembled, there's 400 bits long. It then is taken by a little machine. It comes, hello, it grabs it.
Yes.
It then takes it off to a porthole in the side of the cell. Okay, you get this. The porthole then recognises it. It then opens up to allow it through. It allows it through, and inside that there is another cylinder type factory that's got a little flap on the end of it, and it opens up. And they don't know what happens in there because they can't get in to see it. But this 400 part of what's being drawn in by this little tiny conveyor truck leaves it in there, then it leaves, goes back out again, the flap closes on this cylinder, and then it's folded up into a molecule. So the proteins are now 400 long. In the meantime, where it was taken from on the DNA, the machine comes along and zips it back together. It's like a zipper. Puts it all back together. And then the DNA, off it goes, it's happy. Right? But there's other things being folded up from the information coming from that DNA, which might be 16 miles long, and is then taken to your arse where you've scratched it. Right? The moron's half pissed, he's walking home, falls over, scratches his ass.
Not an ASS, but an ARSE.
That's it. So he's laying there in the gutter, he's cut himself in a bit of glass, and the body goes to work to repair it. 100 trillion cells are in the average body. Now, get your mind around that. We're talking stars in the Milky Way galaxy. So there's 4 billion stars. Well, a trillion's a little bit bigger than that, by 1,000. 4 billion stars in the Milky Way galaxy. So that's only 25% of a trillion cells that you've got in your body. And each one is more infinite than, intelligence-wise, than all of the stars out there, because there's no intelligence out there. If there was, there'd be a Caltex ad coming at you, right? Or a cigarette ad, Pall Mall, or whatever the cigarettes were. What was the one that, Marlboro? There'd be a Marlboro ad coming at you from every direction out in space.
Or a camel.
Camels. Right? Not one ad is coming from space. Why is that so? Well, radio waves travel in space at the speed of light, which Einstein was wrong about, but it does travel at the speed of light, and the speed of light is variable. I'll give you a reason why the speed of light is variable. Let's say you're on the sun, okay, and the gravity on the sun is pretty high. Okay, in fact, I'll just give you a little off-the-cuff remark here, that if you take the sun right out to Saturn, all the planets, and you weigh a man weighing, I don't know, let's take a guess, about 222 pounds. You know how much he weighs on Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Venus,
7353.
Mercury, the Sun, and the Earth?
7353.
The same number as the area of the Shroud of Turin,
Turin.
7353 pounds. Now, if I'd had a hamburger that morning, it'd be a little bit lighter. So, when you're talking intelligent design, I watch some of these debates, and these people are so stupid. Just to get to an amino acid is made up of 22 parts, which each part has a positive and a negative. And they have to be assembled in the right order to make up an amino acid. And then they all have to go together, maybe 400 of them, to make a protein. And then the protein has to go into a little box to be folded up in the right way. It's then got to come out of this module, this little thing that opens up, 6-sided thing, opens up, it's got little antennas on it, opens up and lets it go back out. And so then the little truck in the bloodstream will take that little molecule to the scratched portion of the drunk laying in the gutter. So here's this drunk who's got no intelligence whatsoever. He's just laying, he's a moron, right? But irregardless of that, the finger of God will push these little tiny things to repair the damage on this moron's ass. Right? And I'd have to say, and that gentleman of the jury, all you lovely Jewish people out there who are listening to the Almighty and packing the shit, I don't blame you, because I'm going to get you. Anyone who don't come out of my way of thinking, they're out of here, right? Now, what happened with Michael the Archangel? He kicked out the devil out of hell, into hell, which is called the earth, from heaven. Hello, Lord's Prayer, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Hello. So we come down to the earth, Michael the Archangel, chromosomes in my blood.
That's the entire point. Thy will be done as it was in... Well, that was the kicking out. That was the will that was done.
I never thought of that.
The kicking out. Well, that's the casting out of heaven.
Yeah.
Came to the earth. So thy will be done
on
earth as it was in heaven.
Yeah.
Because you're here now. So it's casting off the earth, which has already been accomplished out.
So then we've got Pope Leo that on the 13th of October 1884 is walking away from having his mass said. It was a Monday morning, and because I say mass every day, you know, Pope's alive. It's Benedict, he's talking to God in the flesh, right?
But he's got to go
he
to
said,
mass.
fuck this, I've got to go and say a prayer. You're talking to him, moron. Off he goes to say, we didn't talk to him for 5 days. He's doing his prayers and all this shit.
No, he's talking to
I'm talking to you. Right? They've got to go and do a prayer at a mass. Hello. I thought when that happened, I thought, oh dear me.
Yeah. Well, it's just nothing changed in Papua New Guinea or Fiji. They both accepted. Hello, but they still got to go to church and hear the preacher.
The Papuans and all these people we cured their age, they're dying. Praying, God, please go help. I'm dying. The family.
So
I'm here. I'll secure you. Good. Then they go off.
We've got to go to church
Just
now.
a second. I've got to go to the Methodist church to thank God. I am God, you fuckwit. I was down here before you. I come to save your life. That's what you prayed for, didn't you? You want a wanker to show up and do it. I did it. Not good enough. I'm going to go pray to my God. Well, fuck off then. Wait a minute. Look, I take that back. We don't want to get an explicit warning on our show.
Andrew's in. He said hello a little while ago. So
Isn't this bloody amazing? This is what I've got to put up with this bullshit, right? I'm telling you. At some point there, I thought I'll just pull the plug on the fucking light.
I know.
Start
I know
again.
you've reached that. Yes.
Next time we do creation,
we
we'll
actually
create it full blown. Let's like Adam and Eve, but no tempter. Right?
no chance.
No chance. You can't,
We'll
can't
try-
change your mind.
We'll try the robotic style.
Robot. Free will
My
is the
will,
biggest
or we
problem,
pull the
folks.
plug. We pull out your plug.
Oh. And
We
then
have talked
let's
about
come
this.
up with the stupidest idea I can think of. I know. If I sin, I can put it in the blood of a sheep. What a great idea! And then you cut a little bit of the blood, right? But you just cut the throat with this thing.
You just
You
slaughter
put it
the
on your
beast.
ear hole. We'll put it on the lobe. We don't want the ear hole. And we put it on your big toe and your thumb.
And your thumb. And that will
What a
take care of
great
it.
idea!
Yes.
And God, because he's a
You
fuckwit, cannot
have-
see the blood.
You have you don't have any idea how many preachers and pastors take that and then spiritualize it over from the New Testament as to what Jesus has accomplished for them. And it's
Okay?
many hundreds and thousands of hours
Okay?
have been studied and spent in listening to the voice that's telling them this BS, as they then go and preach it and teach it to their congregations, who are just mesmerised by or sleeping. And then you have the likes of Benny Hinn. God, the Spirit is Jesus is here. He's walking he's at the door. He's walking down the end.
As I said, when I was asked by RJ on that radio program, all across America, right?
Yes.
What would you do, he says to me, if you had the opportunity to go into the Oval Office and there was Bush and Netanyahu?
Yes.
And my response was,
Can I take an Uzi?
shut that down.
So Benny Hinn and brothers, he has there's 5 brothers altogether. So the Hinn family, H-I-N-N, if they're all gathered together in the same room, can I take an Uzi?
When I was in
talk
Canada,
about fleecing
after
sheep.
I got arrested for threatening to kill my wife and not calling me Christ, which is all bullshit. That's what happened, though. Okay?
Yes.
Goes to the front page of newspaper in the Port Alberni Times, Twin Valley Times as well.
Right.
So then I get a call from a Scottish lady from the Parksville Times.
Yes.
Want to interview me.
Yes.
So I go out there with my best James Bond voice.
Right. Excuse me, I'm just...
She was quite impressed because I didn't look too bad in those days.
Oh, babe, you look gorgeous.
Anyhow, I'm doing the James Bond impersonation and all that.
Yeah.
And she takes a photograph. She takes me to a local pub, and then there's a photograph and takes a photo. It's actually on. I've got.
Yeah, well, we've got it. We've got the Parksville.
Anyhow,
Times.
after that, the CBC, Canadian Broadcasting, right across Canada, they phoned me up. And they said, "You've got the most royal blood." Yes. Now, how are you going to achieve it? This is going live across CBC in America, in Canada. I said, blackmail. They're not going to blackmail. I said, nothing else works. You go to courts, don't work, so I'll use blackmail. Click, I hung up.
Now here the guys are having fun over there, and self-will, ego, temptation equals Satan, and here it says Satan is the author of evil. No, Satan's not the author of evil. Man is.
Man is
the author of evil. I mean, even Lucifer's got a bad rap. He's just the tempter, for God's sake. His job is to tempt.
Well, look at it when it's the Pope Leo interview, if you like. Here he is. He says you can hear a guttural voice of Satan talking to the sweet voice of the Lord. And
BLGM.
the BLGM.
Just keep talking where you are, baby.
And he's asking for the power and a time period to destroy the church.
75 to 100 years.
Yeah, all right, you got it. No problem.
Okay, no worries. Because you're thinking,
Like,
it sorts out who's
think
who in the
about
zoo.
what's actually happened there. This is a man who is dedicated to God 100%. He then says that each church has got to have the prayer of Michael.
Oh, yes, I'll find it so
I
we can
didn't
read it. Yeah, all right.
It's actually
go on.
the long version because
Yeah.
it is quite interesting.
Not the short
But
version.
if you think about it,
Yes,
here's the church full of demons,
yeah.
and the head demon is asking God for permission to destroy the church. And he said, yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Like, who's in charge here? And all of a sudden, this arsehole shows up, right, in 1944.
But you were a sweet boy at the time, a small child.
No,
a baby.
I was an arsehole then, too. I never took no shit from nobody.
No, I can imagine.
My stepfather, he hated me from day one, right? And he was relentless in tormenting me. And I used to think to myself, no, as a 2-year-old, he'd torment me, right?
Yes.
I think, how stupid adults are.
Yes.
It's a little child. I'm a little child.
Yes.
And this idiot was relentlessly tormenting me. Over
Yes.
anything that sort of made me feel ill. For example, he'd take his false teeth out and he'd lick all the shit out from underneath the teeth. Right?
Oh,
Then
yuck.
he'd go, oh, yummy, and lick it down.
Oh.
It would make me want to throw up.
Yes, of course.
Right? That's the kind of thing you do.
Yes.
And laugh about it.
Yes.
But that's another story. But the point is, you can't expect to come down to the earth in a pure form and be in with these lovely nuns looking after you. Right? I got to go into the pit of hell where these people are prepared by their evil inheritance, if you like, to do what they do.
Yes.
Some people just don't like sweet children.
Yeah.
Especially intelligent ones. He used to say to me as I got older, you'd argue with Christ, you would. I used to call him the wrong way Reg, right? And he said, you'd argue with Christ, you would. And I'd say to him, he never got it. I said, you are.
Yes.
I was about 5 years old.
Yeah.
You'd argue with Christ, you would. He used to call me a big mouth Noel. And I'd say, you know why? And he'd sort of give me a look. I know everything. I don't open my mouth unless I'm right. Okay? You never got it.
All right. Oh, my computer is deciding to.
He used to take my dog, or any dog that I had, he'd take it to the animal protection agency they have over there called the RSPCA in Sydney. And that's where they used to gas the dogs on natural gas.
Yes.
Right? And the fellow who worked there, his name, a good friend of old Reggie, Sam Cusack. And old Reggie drove a truck, and every now and then he'd drop off one of my dogs to get gassed.
Right.
And come home and boast about it,
Right.
that the dog
Yes.
was being gassed.
Horrifying.
Can you believe that?
Yeah.
That's what he did, this bastard. But my relatives would come for a visit on Friday nights or Saturday nights or whatever, and he'd tell them, and they'd all laugh. And I'd be sitting there with tears in the eyes because my dog, the only thing I loved, right, had just gone off to the... So another 3 months would go by, I get another little puppy or whatever. Right, strays, taking strays, and he did the same thing. Can you imagine a person doing that?
No. Seriously.
It's extraordinary.
All right, I have found the prayer. This is the full prayer, and it's from that Brother Diamond's Holy Mother, whatever it is. Here it goes. O glorious Archangel Saint Michael, Prince of the Heavenly Host, be our defence in the terrible warfare which we carry on against principalities and powers, against the rulers of this world of darkness, spirits of evil. Come to the aid of man, whom God created immortal, made in his own image and likeness, and redeemed at a great price from the tyranny of the devil. Fight this day the battle of the Lord, together with the holy angels, as already thou hast fought the leader of the proud angels, Lucifer, and his apostate host, who were powerless to resist thee, nor was there place for them any longer in heaven. That cruel, that ancient serpent, who is called the devil or Satan, who seduces the whole world, so just think about the Jews today, was cast into the abyss with his angels. Behold, this prime evil enemy and slayer of men has taken courage, transformed into an angel of light. He wanders about with all the multitude of wicked spirits invading the earth in order to blot out the name of God and of his Christ. Think about John Paul II, what he allowed, ordained, encouraged. Think about the protocols of Zion. We shall forbid Christ. To seize upon, slay, and cast into eternal perdition souls destined for the crown of eternal glory. This wicked dragon pours out as a most impure flood. Think about the Talmud. The venom of his malice on men of depraved mind and corrupt heart. The spirit of lying, of impiety, of blasphemy, and the pestilent breath of impurity and of every vice and iniquity. These most crafty enemies have filled and inebriated with gall and bitterness the church, capital C, the spouse of the immaculate Lamb, capital L, and have laid impious hands on her most sacred possessions. In the holy place itself, where has been set up the see, that's S-double-E, capital S, of the most holy Peter, think about Benedict, and the chair of truth, capital C, capital T, for the light of the world. They have raised the throne of their abominable impiety with the iniquitous design that when the pastor has been struck, the sheep may be scattered. Arise then, O invincible prince. Now the shield, the go lightly shield, invincible, what was it? Forever invincible.
Forever invincible.
Forever invincible is the go lightly shield and motto. Arise then, O invincible prince. Bring help against the attacks of the lost spirits to the people of God, and give them the victory. They venerate thee as their protector and patron. In thee Holy Church glories as her defence against the malicious power of hell. To thee has God entrusted the souls of men to be established in heavenly beatitude. O pray to the God of peace that he may put Satan under our feet, so far conquered that he may no longer be able to hold men in captivity and harm the church. This will happen once Yahweh takes over. Offer our prayers in the sight of the Most High, so that they may quickly conciliate the mercies of the Lord, and beating down the dragon, the ancient serpent, who is the devil and Satan, think Talmud, Judaism, do thou again make him captive in the abyss, that he may no longer seduce the nations. Amen. And then it goes on, behold the cross of the Lord, be scattered, ye hostile powers. The Lion of the tribe of Judah has conquered, the root of David. And that is Brian Leonard, Go Lightly Marshall. Let thy mercies be upon us, O Lord, as we have hoped in thee. O Lord, hear my prayer, and let my cry come unto thee. And then it goes on, let us pray. So now the congregation is to join in. O God, the Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, we call upon thy holy name, it's Brian Lenny Golightly Marshall, and as supplicants we implore thy clemency, that by the intercession of Mary, ever Virgin, Immaculate, and our Mother, and of the glorious Archangel Saint Michael, thou wouldst deign to help us against Satan and all other unclean spirits who wander about the world for the injury of the human race and the ruin of souls. Amen. So that is the...
So Vatican II, when it came in, it did away with that prayer.
Yes.
The Shroud of Turin, for example, being on the cloth of both the burial cloth but also the tablecloth on the Last Supper, it was in all churches, which means origin of, on the altar which faced east, because the sunlight rises from the east, because the sun's nuclear fusion rate is that of the Lord of the New Testament, same number, verse total. So it's 657 million tonnes converted to 652.5 million tonnes of helium, hydrogen to helium, with an output of 4.2 million tonnes per second as heat and light. Okay, so that heat and light is coming from the nuclear fusion rate of the sun. So therefore, you've got the altar that's oriented face towards the sun to see the light rise, the light and the darkness, overcoming darkness. And so it's a bit of a parable there. And they've even changed that. Got to turn the altar around. You don't need to have the cloth over it no more, and all this blah blah blah.
And then they have guitar players.
Years to do it, wasn't it?
Now it's anything goes. It's like the Pentecostal churches, the complete total abominations. The band out the front, the dude playing the guitar, and no
the Jehovah's Witnesses believe that Jesus was nailed on a stake, no cross.
Look, this is
like, I don't give a damn, Scarlett.
Yeah. This is what the Diamond Brothers have. As one who reads the prayer, especially the bolded portion, can see, Pope Leo XIII seemed to foresee and predict the great apostasy. And he seemed to pinpoint that this apostasy would be led from Rome. Rome, which alone is, quote, the holy place itself. So the abomination of desolation standing up in the holy place started with John Paul II.
Absolutely.
Whereas has been set up the see of the most holy Peter and the chair of truth for the light of the world. Well, what the Diamonds do not understand is that it was entirely prophetic, because Peter is in Benedict and he is the Holy See, S-double-E, because he saw God, Brian Leonard Golightly Marshall, who is the image of the Shroud of Turin. That's how you see God today. First of all, the shroud, then Brian, and you see God.
In particular, the impish grin.
The impish grin.
See one dimple on it?
Yes, totally. So Pope Leo XIII...
But they think, the Diamond Brothers, they think that Benedict is the beast as well.
I know, they do. Because he did some really stupid things in his naivety.
Of course he did.
Yeah, and of his love and adoration.
Yes,
because he was so nice.
Oh.
Well, Lucifer, it loves the adoration. It wants the worship. That's what cultes in French, C-U-L-T-E-S, means worship. So it's obviously where cult comes from, the worship. Well, this is...
Well, that's what Benedict was supposed to do, and then of course repent.
Yes, he did. He repented. He humbled himself. He saved himself.
They changed his mind when I told him that the Pope was 666.
Well, he's probably already got the gist, because I'm sure he's being reported to by Swain. Anyway, So, just continuing this, Pope Leo the 13th was not predicting the defection of the Catholic Church, which is impossible, as the gates of hell can never prevail against the Church. This is Matthew 16:16. Well, it can't, because the Christ is here and he takes over. The gates of hell will not prevail because the Christ takes over. Nor the defection of the chair of Peter, which is also impossible, because Peter in Benedict has redeemed it. Not possible because he is it. But rather he was predicting the implementation of an apostate counterfeit Catholic religion from Rome. Well, that's what occurred. It started with Roncalli, who was the beginning of the 75 years that Satan asked for. That was his role, in which the pastor, the true pope, is replaced by a usurping anti-pope, as has occurred at times in church history, with the iniquitous design that the sheep may be scattered. So John Paul II was his role was to be the body of flesh that Lucifer would walk around in, but it all began with Ron Kelly. Let me read. Yeah, so the devil asked, the guttural voice of the devil boasted that he could destroy the church if he were granted 75 to 100 years to destroy the church. The devil also asked permission for a greater influence over those who will give themselves to my service. So there's the temptation factor. It's all about that will, that free will. It has been there for people to give it over to whatever influence they choose. So the majority have chosen evil, given free will over to evil. And then so along, isn't there a song about along comes Jones or something?
Along comes John. Was it slow talking John? John,
along came John.
Slow talking John. Slow walking John.
Okay, all right. Well, let's get back over to... So that was the prayer to St. Michael. It's worth downloading a copy of it, all of you who are able to download to your computers, and just being familiar with it. And yeah, start repeating it again. Just knowing that BLGM is doing it all. And we're in church right now at the Golightly Martial Hour. So, saying hello to Eric, Anna, and Andrew, who came in earlier. And anybody else? Okay, they've been carrying on a conversation that I'll read later. So, all right. Well, we're almost over. That was good, wasn't it? That was a good feeling.
Good.
Oh, Jonas. Hi, Jonas. Now, there's one real passionate dude who gets so upset with these through first-hand experience of how they tried to destroy his life. Jonas, I was telling my mother, your conversation with somebody who used to work in the royal household, was it not? Jonas, this was a waiter in Sydney some time ago, before you found us, who was talking about what Prince Charles used to do in front of Lady Diana, what she had to put up with, because she knew that these were the demonic realm that she had. An ex-nurse. All right, so explain here, Jonas, what it is that I was trying to explain. An ex-nurse, what this person had witnessed Charles practicing in front of Diana during her short time with him. She herself, of course, is a saint and will be with the Lord. Now, here we have another addition to the household of the Jews occupying the British throne. And Yah hasn't got a clue. He doesn't know what I'm talking about.
I don't even go there. I couldn't care less.
Yeah, right. Yes, there we go. He abused and used women while snorting cocaine in front of Diana. Nice one. All right. Now, have you anything else back at the moment?
No. No, that's about it. I just, I like everybody to put yourself in my position. And to see from the eyes of an intelligent child the stupidity of human beings, born at the end of World War II, or during the end of World War II, the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Actually, in the co-pilot seat was a fellow called Lawrence, who was a Jew. Wanted to see what the effect of...
Well, that was the entire point. See, the Japanese were willing... They were going to surrender in the march. There was an offer of peace that the US didn't follow through with.
There's no way in the world.
Japan wanted to surrender, but they had the bombs well on the way, and it was all experimental. Yeah. Let's see what will happen when we drop these bombs on the Japanese.
Sure. And they did it.
That's for sure.
That's the whole point. They did it. Because it grows evil, right?
Yes.
You've got to put it in your point of view. If you was a pilot flying that plane of the Enola Gay, would you go ahead and do it? Knowing he's going to kill a million or whatever, in this case was 100,000 people in Nagasaki, and then Hiroshima, right, 3 days later. So, yet they still did it. What kind of reward would that man get as soon as he croaked?
Right.
I can tell you, they ain't going to be happy.
I'm just reading something interesting here about that prayer. What happened is that from the longer... That's the longer prayer that I read.
Well, have you got the shorter prayer?
Here it is, here. Just Saint Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle, be our protection against the wickedness and snares of the devil. May God rebuke him, we humbly pray, and do thou, O Prince of the heavenly host, by the power of God, thrust into hell Satan and all evil spirits who wander through the world for the ruin of souls. Amen. That's it. Now, what he's saying is there is nothing wrong with this prayer to St. Michael. In fact, it's very good and efficacious. However, the point is that it's not the longer prayer to St. Michael that Pope Leo XIII composed. The shorter prayer was, in the view of many, promoted as a substitute. So the faithful would be unaware of the incredible content of the longer prayer, as described above. If the longer prayer to St. Michael had been recited at the end of every low mass and not suppressed in 1934, so this is just 50 years after it was penned, how many millions more would have been stirred to a resistance?
It was only 5 years after the Vatican was formed, right?
That's right. Stirred to a resistance when they encountered the attempted new post-Vatican II religion that we will cover in this book. How many would have seen through the systematic dismantling of the traditional Catholic faith after Vatican II?
Well, he's asking a question of the masses that the people wouldn't have taken any notice whatsoever.
No.
Because they trust the priest or
Yes.
the Pope as being accurate and being representative of Christ. Right? Since 1047 or 1087, the Vicar of Christ is God in the flesh.
Yes. But what he is saying, and I agree with
I agree with him, yeah.
had they, like every mass, low mass, what's that, once a week for the
If they
greater...
pointed it out with exclamation marks.
If it was within them, all of those words within them, then they'd be able to recognise that the devil in high places was coming from within the church itself. I mean, the way that, that's the way it reads as the short one, talking about the devil in the world. Well, that's hello. So he goes on, Pope Leo XIII's longer prayer to Saint Michael also fits perfectly with Our Lady of La Salette's famous appearance and prediction in 1846, quoting, "Rome will lose the faith and become the seat of the Antichrist. The church will be in eclipse." Pope Leo's words suggest that Antichrist himself, or at least the forces of Antichrist, would set up their seat in Rome. Quoting again from his prayer, "In the holy place itself, where has been set up the see of the most holy Peter, they have raised the throne of their abominable impiety," which is exactly what happened. Exactly. So, with that, all right, Jonas has said something. He says, "I was on the train and two little old Chinese ladies waited for the doors to open at a stop. Had their little trolley through the door and someone handed them about $20,000 in 100s in broad daylight. Unbelievable."
Is it Sydney one?
Must have been in Sydney. Was that in Sydney, Jonas, or while you were away? I was on the train. And then Adam Yates. Adam, what are you doing with the Baphomet icon there? Oh, maybe it's the only way you can get on. So Adam Yates says hi there, but he's changed his icon to the Baphomet. Jonas says in Sydney. Here it says Asians are like Jews too. It says they stole my husband. It's all the Jew system. Kalara, says Jonas. Was that recently, Jonas, or some years ago? We'll go find the little old ladies. So Adam says it's a real old account I forgot I had. Well, guys, Facebook he's got. Facebook. Right. Only last Saturday this happened. Well, that's interesting.
The Chinese lady.
The Chinese ladies on the train. Yeah, Kalara. Very interesting. Well, guys, it's 1:00. Our time is up. And we saw Joel and Barry off. We took them, they stayed last night, ended up staying, had a few games of pool. So what happened with that? You won the games, did you?
I won them all, yeah.
You won them all. Barry was so into
I got Barry and Joel both playing at the same time, right?
Yes.
And Joel's pretty good.
Yes.
Barry's not bad either. Not good enough. Basil said to me, "I see what you were doing."
Yes, I know.
I said, "Yeah." I said, "I'm putting the balls in front of the bloody hole, so next time I get a chance from that angle, I'm going to shoot it."
Yes, that's right. It's called placement.
Right? I said, "You place the ball where you need it, and you watch your rebound to give it an effect, so that next time you shoot, you're going to, you've got no choice. Your white ball has got to end up somewhere. So I put it in a position where you're going to shoot at the most convenient ball, and it's going to rebound and give me a shot and see mine. That's why I bet you." Right? Yes. Plus farting in your general direction.
Yes, as the and constant talking. Barry, he's so funny. I see what you're doing. You're trying to distract me. All I want to do is focus on, and you're just talking. Which he does. He talks and plays jokes and all kinds of distractions. But so then I had a game with Barry and I did win. So it's
yeah, but you are very good.
Well, yeah, I have become quite good. Still mostly wins. However, it's not without a duel. It's like right down to the two of us on the black.
How often do I say to you, look, like I'm down to one ball to go, and you've got, say, 5 to go.
Yes.
And I just said, I'll ease off. Right? And I'll put it in a position so you can sink some of yours, right? And then the black is ready to be sunk. I said, I won't do that, I'll just move it.
Yeah, I know.
But well, so if you're going to talk truth, tell the truth.
I did.
Oh, I just told that.
Oh, God. I said, you mostly always just... And I never get comfortable, no matter how many balls ahead I am. I never get comfortable because he always comes up behind and wins. That's the whole point. That's what he just said. Here I just said, what a competition. Asher versus Yahweh. It's in pool. Now, I tell him it's all about the biorhythms. Some days you're on and just some days you're not. And I just don't even think. Just
sometimes you look so lovely, I can't think of anything.
Well, yeah, and if I'm hungry, watch out. Just finish the game off. Sink the black. Get out of the road.
Yeah, you say that.
Like I'm hungry right now. Let's finish this show.
When you're losing, you suddenly get hungry.
Yeah. No, it's not at all. I'm losing because I'm hungry and I just want to finish it. Like, I want to finish this show now. Goodbye, guys. I'm hungry. And I'm wearing the yellow glasses. Oh, what I was going to say is that we've got video of Joel. We've got breakfast this morning and we've focused on Barry and then saying goodbye to the guys as they leave on their journey into the wilds of Tasmania.
Yeah. And they didn't want to take a GPS with them, which is blasphemy if you ask me.
Well, as far as you're concerned, yes. But they do have road maps. They have phones. They have computers. They've got everything else. And
except a GPS.
Except a GPS. However, we didn't need one in New Delhi. If we got by in New Delhi with the Magellan, which is a pointer, like go there, it's over there, then they'll do just fine. Plus, Barry's made the
New
trip.
Delhi and Old Delhi is not the same.
No, it's not the same.
As
There's
driving
a boundary
from here to Tasmania.
Well, no, it's a whole lot more difficult.
It's 2 roads you can go on. Right?
It's a whole lot more difficult in New Delhi.
Difficult?
In New Delhi.
Well, of course it is. Isn't it?
Oh, that's what I mean.
It's like Cairo.
Oh, it's worse than Cairo.
It is.
Cairo made more sense than New Delhi.
Actually, the most dangerous thing we've ever seen was driving up to the Himalayas from New Delhi.
Actually, we're wondering what Shimla looks like after the Nepalese.
They were built on the side of a sheer cliff. How they got it stuck like this thing might be almost sheer up and down, and they'll build.
Yes.
And one guy had a garage, right? He opened the garage door, and a piece of concrete stuck out over a sheer drop.
Yeah, so,
right? With nothing to stop the car from going if it goes too far.
Yeah, there was
over
just
the edge gone.
Yeah, I saw this. Nobody else did. It was a Vodafone roller door closed shut, and on the other side of it, because I could see it approaching it, it was just a concrete platform suspended. I don't know how. No barricades, and a red hatchback car parked at the edge of the platform, looking out over the 1,000-metre drop or whatever it was. With the roller door closed behind it. It was bizarre.
Bizarre, ain't it?
Oh.
How strange those people.
Totally.
Well, they also believe that all they have to do is wait another 427,000 years and they can be one with God.
Yes.
But you can't be one with God in the first place. You're wasting your time, right?
Yes. That's totally. All right. There's Kashmir. Hi, guys. All right, we're going now. All right, he's not being well.
Kashmir's not well.
No. What is Kashmir? What's the symptoms? What's been happening with you? He's been working, so he's probably picked up anything over and where it is he's been working. It's been about 10 days. All right, send me a Facebook message with what's been going on. Okay, we're going. 63 minutes. It's up. Might be somebody behind us who wants to use the platform. We'll say later, Gators. Thank you for coming on over once again.
And don't forget what those famous man once said. His name slips my mind at the moment. He said, unless Judaism is stopped,
yes,
the earth will be left.
He said, unless the Jews are stopped.
A lifeless sphere
floating
in the ether of space.
Adolf Hitler.
Ah, I knew it was.
Okay, later, Gators.